Hello buddy, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm showing you how to use the clone command to clone your structures from one region to another, just like this, in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So first we'll go over the basic part of the clone command, and then we'll also dive into the further options you have with the clone command itself, like masking or moving or only cloning specific blocks. But let's first start with the very basics, just cloning over a structure from one area to another, like I did here in the intro. So the clone command has some interesting characteristics, and here we can see the clone command I used to clone over this village house. And this might seem like a bunch of numbers, but they are just 3 sets of coordinates. Now, when you're working with the clone command, it's always a good idea to back up your world, because things might go wrong. So make sure you do that so you have a backup of your original world, so you can load that back up in case something does go wrong. Furthermore, I suggest going over to settings and scrolling down on the game section until you see this, and make sure you have show coordinates set to true, which means you'll always see your current position on the top left, which makes it a lot easier to determine where you want to place your builds. And so to show off how this actually works, let's try to clone this house over here. So what you will need to do is find the coordinates of 2 of the opposite corners of your build. So in this case, we have this block down here as one of the corners, for example. And if we place a couple of blocks here, we'll see that this is our opposite corner of the structure. And so there are multiple different ways to get the coordinates of these corners. You can of course just stand on top of them and remove one from your current y value, where your coordinates are the x, y, and z values. So my x value is currently minus 370, y is 124, and z is 253. And so the block below me would be x minus 370, y 123, and z 253. You can also go into the clone command immediately, so type in /clone like this, space, and you will see the option over here of minus 370. So you can type that in, or on PC you can press tab twice to get there as well. But just typing it works fine as well, like this. Then you can press space, and you'll see the next coordinate already on there. Indeed, it's 123. Here's your y value, and space again. 253 is your z value. Just make sure you're looking at the block that is one of the corners of your build, and you will get the coordinates there immediately. Now, of course, we can't look at the second block immediately, so what we do now is just press enter. This will give us an error, but that's fine. Now we'll fly over to the second corner, which is this one up here, and look at this block. So we'll go back into our chat and go up to our previous message by pressing the up arrow or the relevant button on your different consoles. And now you can press space again, and you'll see another number pop up, minus 364. Then there's 130 and 259. So now we have both of the corners of our structure. You can press enter again. There we go. And we can remove these blocks now. We don't want to copy those over, so we can remove them again. And now let's move over here, where we will try to paste this structure. And so to paste the structure, we will fill in a third coordinate. And now this is quite important. Your structure will always be placed towards the positive coordinates. So this means that if we move over here a bit, we will see that our x value increases. If we move over here a bit, we'll see that our z value increases. And this means that if we put our third coordinate as this block over here, that our structure will be placed this way and this way. So we'll see our structure appearing over here towards the positive numbers. This can be quite confusing, so I suggest trying it out a couple of times to see if you understand what's going on. But let's try to put the house over here. So let's just look at this block and do the exact same thing again. Go back to our clone command, space, and our first number, our second number, and our third number. And our clone command is complete. This is the point at which you will press enter, which can be a little scary, but of course, let's just try it. And there we go. We have pasted our house over here into this region. You will see that that's exactly the same structure. And we can move in and see that's exactly the same. So that is the basic clone command on Bedrock Edition. But you might have noticed there's a lot more going on over here that you can try out, which is what we will do now. And so the first part you can specify with the clone command is if you want it to be a replace type or a masked type. And the difference between replace and masked is that with replace you copy over the air blocks, and with masked you don't copy over the air blocks. So let's show you the difference. So we'll keep with our original house structure and now try to paste it over here, which means that it's going to go entirely into this tree. So let's actually paste it on this block over here. So we'll go back up to where we've only selected our house, and then again type in the coordinates of the block we're looking at, like this. And now we'll put in replace like this and press enter. This means we copy over the air blocks as well, and indeed we can see that there's a lot of air around this structure here, and whatever was here before is all being deleted. Now let's try something different. Let's go over here and try this again, but this time we'll put in these coordinates like this, and this time we'll paste in masked. And now press enter. So now, as you can see, the leaves here actually stayed next to the house, and there's all kinds of dirt around the house here as well. It's kind of buried in. This is because it didn't actually clone over any of the air blocks, and so if you try to go inside, actually there's leaves in here, and there's the tree in here as well. And there's also some leaves on top here still. So there's the difference between replace and masked. Then the next thing we can specify is the clone mode, which can be force, move, or normal. Normal is of course the one we've already seen. It's exactly the same as just a regular clone command. While force and move do something slightly different. So first of all, to show off what normal actually does, if we try to paste the house exactly on the position where it is already at. So for example over here, if we try to put it here, it will overlap with the source of our clone command. So if we try to do that, put it down here, we will get the following error. Source and destination cannot overlap. Now you can brute force this error or just force it to clone over here. You might need this at some point. If you have some sort of contraption, redstone contraption, whatever, that you need to be placed right next to each other, then you might need this. But in this case, I'll try to put the house exactly right next to it, such that the roofs will connect to each other, which is not possible without the force part. Alright, so let's set this as the destination block. And first check, indeed, it says source and destination cannot overlap. But now if we put in, for example, replace force, like this, and press enter, indeed, it puts the house exactly there, and now the roofs overlap. However, you can see that indeed it broke this wall over here, which would not happen if you instead of put replace, you would have put masked there. So you can also combine those modes. Now the next clone mode we have is actually move, and this is pretty much the same as the Ctrl X option if you try to cut some text and paste it somewhere else. It will move the structure from where it is currently to where you paste it. So I've currently selected the structure over there, and if we want to paste it over here, we'll fill in the destination coordinate like this. Let's set it to masked, and now to move. And if we press enter, indeed, we will see that the structure gets removed from over there and gets put over here. And we left a nice hole here because, of course, we're copying over the grass below here as well. So we'd have to fill that in again, either by just putting it in manually or by using a fill command. If you don't know how to use the fill command, I've made a tutorial on it. The link is in the top right of your screen. And then the final thing you can do with the clone command is just clone over one specific type of block. So let's select this house again and go over here. Now this time when we fill in the destination coordinate, afterwards we'll fill in filtered like this. And again, we can choose the clone mode as well. So we can move out a specific type of block or even force it. But let's just put it on normal for now. And then see which kind of block we want to copy over. So let's say we just want to copy over the roof. So that would be oak stairs. There we go. And you can also add the data part after here, like upside down bit or weird direction or anything like that. But let's just keep it at oak stairs and press enter. And there we go. Now indeed we've copied over the roof, and there's also apparently 2 oak stairs, one inside the structure and one at the front. But indeed we just copied over the roof. Then we can also try, for example, the cobblestone like this. And there we go. There's the cobblestone part of the structure. Maybe also the mossy cobblestone. There we go. The grass. And maybe also those stripped oak logs. There we go. And so in that way you can copy over the blocks one by one if you ever wanted to do that for some reason. Now you can't rotate or mirror structures using the clone command. If you want to do that, then you need to use structure blocks. I've made a tutorial on those already, so check out the link in the top right of your screen if you want to know how to rotate and mirror your builds in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now that is pretty much it for the clone command. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe.